Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. And tonight's Raw was held from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. And if you haven't gotten a chance to check out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, I reviewed Fastlane. So if you haven't checked out my review of Fastlane, please go check it out in the previous video. But tonight's Raw, I thought it was just a meh show. Wasn't terrible, wasn't a good show, but it was just meh to me, in my opinion. But the show opened up with Kurt Angle coming out, saying that him and Ronda are competing against Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania, which we saw last week. Kurt says, he won't be sorry for what he does to Triple H at WrestleMania. He also makes an announcement that Brock Lesnar is not going to make it to Raw tonight, which, it's another week of Lesnar not appearing on TV, and WWE probably is holding back Lesnar to appear on TV. Probably they're gonna have Lesnar maybe come on the Raw before WrestleMania, during WrestleMania week, and have him come on there. So because with them doing this, it just gets more heat on Lesnar, which is pretty good. And so he makes that announcement, and then Roman Reigns ends up coming out. He says that Lesnar doesn't respect him. Lesnar doesn't respect WWE, the company, and he doesn't respect everyone in the crowd in Detroit tonight. And he's going to say Lesnar didn't show up tonight or last week, and he says to Kurt, what is the repercussion for Lesnar not coming tonight? And he says, and Roman says, oh, there's pretty much not going to be any repercussion because Lesnar is Vince's bitch. And I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, this sounds like Roman is talking about himself, not Lesnar, because we all know Roman is Vince's bitch. They try to shove Roman down our throats, and it's not working. It's not fucking working. And Roman says that he will not be disrespected by Vince. It's just really stupid saying, oh, Lesnar is Vince's bitch. Wrong. Roman Reigns, everyone says Roman Reigns is Vince's bitch because of how they shove Roman down our throats. It's just, yeah. And then, we see Roman go to the back, and, he says, to Vince, oh, what's going on? Why is Lesnar not showing up? And what was really funny is we saw Shane McMahon back there, and I'm like, I didn't even know, Shane, controls, pretty much, Raw with Vince. So, and then we hear Vince say, oh, go to commercial. And actually, actually did went to commercial. But opening segment, it was pretty decent from Roman. It was, they're just shoving, they just keep, shoving Roman down our throats. But then when Raw came back from commercial, we saw Renee Young standing by Vince's office, and Roman Reigns ends up coming out. Renee tries to get a say with Roman, but Roman ends up walking off. Vince ends up coming out. Renee interviews Vince, and he says Lesnar is not his boy, or Lesnar is not Heyman's boy, and Lesnar's not anybody's boy. And, he says Lesnar is just, his own self, his own man. And he says Lesnar respects competition. He also announces that Lesnar will be at Raw next week, which I know he's definitely not going to be. They're just going to keep doing this, Lesnar not showing up thing for, Lesnar to get more heat from the crowd. So he's not going to appear. Like I say, he's not going to appear. They probably will make him appear the Raw before WrestleMania. During the WrestleMania week. And he says Vince also says he will compete at WrestleMania against Roman. And Vince goes on to say that Roman has been suspended. So yeah, it was just that little interview with Vince. And then we have the first match tonight. It was Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville. Bayley came out with Sasha. And of course, Paige and Mandy Rose was at ringside. And this match, it was a typical women's match. Wasn't that good. Bayley looked kind of pissed when her and Sasha came out. But Sasha ended up getting the win with the bank statement on Sonya to score the win. And then, when Sasha got the win, Bayley just, walked off to the back. Walked away. Then after the match, Absolution, Sonya and Mandy ended up being up on Sasha. So that pretty much ended that. But all in all, the match itself, it was your typical women's match. It wasn't that good. And next was Miz TV. Miz came out for Miz TV. He introduced his guests, who was Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Miz says to Seth that they are, the workhorses for WWE. And Miz says to Finn that, 2 years ago, Finn defeated Seth to become the Universal Champion. And that, it was a huge accomplishment. And he goes on to say Finn deserves, a spotlight at WrestleMania with him for the Intercontinental title, not Seth. Seth says to Miz, at WrestleMania, he is going to beat him and take the Intercontinental title. He also says to Finn that he doesn't have a chance in this match. Finn says to Seth, what happened the last time they had a championship match. And, he says Finn beat him with one arm. Seth says, he's going to stomp Finn's head and win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Finn goes on to say, let's not wait until WrestleMania, which is in 4 weeks. And that, they should just, go tonight. And then we see them, looking at each other. And then they look at the Miz. And then both Finn and Seth take out Miz. Finn has his back turned. And then when Finn turns around, Seth, hits Finn. And Seth walks out. And that pretty much ended the segment. But the segment itself, it was pretty decent. I liked it for all three of them. Said has little hype for the triple threat for the Intercontinental title at Mania. And then we had it was originally supposed to be a tag team match because Cesaro and Sheamus was there. It was supposed to be Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Miztourage. But then we had the whole Raw tag team division come out. We had the Miztourage, we had the Revival, Gallows and Anderson, Titus Worldwide, and we had like Heath Slater and Rhino. they were all brawling. It was pretty much a clusterfuck because there was so much going on with them being taken out, and the brawl was pretty cool. It was pretty decent, because the whole Raw tag team division wants a chance at Cesaro and Sheamus for the tag team titles. So pretty much that happened. It was just a brawl, and it was like I said, it was a pretty cool brawl. It was decent. And then we had John Cena coming out saying, he finally found his road to WrestleMania, and that he's here tonight to announce that, he's not going to be contributing to WrestleMania this year. And he says, he's still going to be there, but just as, a fan. And then, he ends up going into the crowd. He's with the, people in the crowd. He ends up drinking this guy's, having a sip of this guy's beer. And then we see that, he challenges Undertaker at WrestleMania, which, we pretty much, knew that he was going to challenge Undertaker when he said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty much not going to happen." So, but it's finally going to happen. This is what they're setting it up for, and John Cena was being aggressive in this segment. This was one of the best. This was pretty much he cut a good promo tonight. That aggressive, Cena. But yeah, I really enjoyed his promo tonight. It was very, very good. With him calling out Taker. Because we haven't seen Cena go have a match with Taker in a while. I think the last time we saw Cena have a match with Taker was at forgot what it was, but I think it was a Vengeance. I think it was at Vengeance. I'm not sure what year it was though, but I remember seeing it though. But got the year what it was. I'm want to look it up now. It was Vengeance. It was Vengeance 2003. And it was Vengeance 2003. So, but I remember seeing little clips of that match. So, but yeah, it was a pretty it was, like I said, it was a good promo from Cena tonight. Then we had Cesaro and Sheamus backstage. They were with Kurt Angle. Both of them weren't happy that the tag team division assaulted them, tonight. Sorry about that, but I was saying, both Cesaro and Sheamus weren't happy that the tag team division assaulted them tonight, and they demanded Kurt for them to be traded, because Cesaro was saying, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be." I heard there was a rumor that there was going to be a superstar shakeup after WrestleMania, and yeah, he was pretty much right, because there are talks of a superstar shakeup or a draft after WrestleMania, and they start talking about if they were traded, they start talking about trash about the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, New Day, the Usos, Breezango, because they want to take on them, since they pretty much challenged everybody on the Raw Tag Team division. And Kurt says, there is no way that they are going to be traded, and that both Cesaro and Sheamus are going to be traded, and they will find out who they will face at WrestleMania. With the winners to be determined in a tag team battle royal tonight. So, pretty much, there was a tag team battle royal tonight, So it's just a little backstage segment with them. Then we had Elias is out saying, it's your fault. And, he walks off. It was just, I'm like, alright, that was random. And then Braun Strowman ends up cutting a promo saying, he dropped the piano on Elias and that he doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. And he says he's going to go out and cause his own path to destruction so he could get to WrestleMania. Or go to WrestleMania. So, it was a pretty good promo from Strowman. I want to see him go to WrestleMania. Then we had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. And this was a decent match. It was very entertaining. Fan of both of these guys. It was back and forth between the both of them. Finn Balor ended up getting the win with the roll-up because Seth Rollins was going to do, I think it was called a Falcon Arrow. The Falcon Arrow on Finn, but Finn reversed it into a roll-up to score the win. So Finn Balor ended up winning the match. Pinned Seth Rollins clean. So, but all the match, it was a decent match. Really liked it. And then we had, after that, we had Asuka. Asuka ends up coming out. Was being interviewed by Charlie Caruso about, last night at Fastlane. And she asked Asuka why she challenged, Charlotte. And Alexa Bliss ends up coming out with, of course, Mickie James. Saying, Asuka doesn't want to go one-on-one with her at Mania. Because she says Asuka can't beat her at Mania. And Alexa ends up saying, she is rooting for Asuka to knock the Queen off her throne. Asuka says to Alexa, if you want to be the woman, bury the woman, you got to be the woman. It was really hard for me to know what Asuka said. Because she's like, you gotta, hey, oh, what? Like, it was like that. And, Asuka says that she could beat Alexa again, right now. And Alexa says, Asuka, gets this woman. And pretty much it was going to be, Nia Jax to come out, but Nia didn't end up coming out. And so Mickie James then cheap shots Asuka. And that pretty much set off a match. Asuka versus Mickie James. When Raw came back from the commercial, that's when the match was started. And the match, it was meh. Not that good. Another typical women's match. But Asuka got the win with the Asuka lock to Mickie James to score the win. So Asuka's undefeated streak still goes on. So, but it's a typical women's match, not that good. Then we see Alexa goes back and finds Nia. Nia ends up telling Alexa that Kurt didn't want her to go out because she has a match, which was happening next. And Alexa says, she loves Nia as a best friend. Alexa wants Nia to be in her corner next week when she faces Asuka. And Nia agrees to that. So, just that little segment with them. Then it was Nia Jax versus some jobber. Nia Jax wins with the Samoan drop. Pretty much a squash match, as always with, jobbers. And then after the match, we see Alexa backstage with Mickie. And it shows on the Titantron, and Nia's watching it. Pretty much, Mickie says, that Alexa said, Nia is a loser and an outcast. And it was just Mickie and Alexa talking shit about Nia. And Alexa says, she only uses Nia, and that next week in our match with Asuka, they're going to beat the hell out of Nia. And, when Nia hears that, Nia ends up running to the back to try to get her hands on Alexa. And then we just see Nia going crazy, throwing shit around, ripping up, the top of luggages. So it was just Nia going really crazy. So, but yeah, it was like watching, high school girls fight. That's pretty much basically what it was. Sorry about that, but like I was saying, it was pretty much, basically like seeing high school girls, fight. It was pretty much that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And, pretty much this sets off, Alexa versus Nia at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title. It was also felt like, like Maury. Felt like I was watching Maury, but with, without the cheating lovers and, the paternity test. It was like, friend backstab and shit. So, but it was basically just that. And then what was really cool was we actually got a sort of a tribute with the it was the Mae Young. It's going to be a Mae Young Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and pretty much the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royals for the men. The Mae Young Battle Royal is going to be for the women. So it's going to be the first one for first one for the woman. So, but the tribute was pretty good. I really liked the tribute with Mae Young, Mae Young, and little hype for this. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Mae Young. It was Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal. I got it mixed up, but yeah. So it's going to be the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal for the woman. So little hype for that Memorial Battle Royal. So excuse me for messing that up a little bit, but it's Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal. So, but yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. Get a battle royal for the woman. And then we had Bray Wyatt cutting a promo because they played the Matt Hardy promo for next week, which him and Bray Wyatt are going to be in a the Hardy compound, and it's going to be a sort of a deletion type match. And after we saw all those clips, Bray Wyatt cuts a promo saying Matt Hardy is a liar and a fool, and that he's just a man. And he accepts his invitation to his Hardy compound, and that he's coming for him. So pretty much that match is going to happen next week on Raw. So it was a pretty decent promo that Bray Wyatt cut. And then we just see Kurt Angle talking to this ref, and this ref that he was talking to was going to referee the match next week with Hardy and Wyatt. Then we had the main event, which was the tag team battle royal, and pretty much you had all the tag team, the Raw tag team division in there, and then Braun Strowman ends up coming out, and he's just decimating all of the Raw tag team division. It was just they tried their hardest to get Strowman out of the over the top rope and out of the match, but it just failed. And it was just Strowman just tossing out, the tag team, some of the tag team division, like the Revival, Gallows and Anderson, the Miztourage, all the tag team division that came out earlier in the night and had that brawl. So Braun Strowman won the tag team battle royal. He threw out Carl Anderson, and what we probably know is that Strowman possibly has a secret partner, and it's not revealed yet. My thoughts: it could be Elias, maybe, or it could be. Well, I know probably they're gonna hold up to WrestleMania. Maybe it'll be Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley did sign contract with WWE. He's coming back to WWE, which I'm really happy about. But so we all know who Strowman's secret partner might be. So Braun, like I said, Braun Strowman wins the tag team battle royal, and that pretty much ended Raw. So yeah. So anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow night for my SmackDown review and also my review of the Mixed Match Challenge match. So until that video, I'll see you all back here tomorrow night.